Sony has continued to trademark the phrase Soho engine in more countries around the world. While it's pure speculation, the term Soho could be a hint as to the way this engine could be applied. Trademarks and project names have been a popular way to peek ahead into the future, ever since the widespread adoption of the internet made them easy to find. Of course, some predictions have been completely off the mark, such as rumors of a GameCube Classic Edition in 2018. However, some guesses have ended up being accurate, such as trademark-based speculation that Square Enix would localize Collection of Mana in 2019. Still, trademarks for pre-existing properties are easier to interpret than all new project names. Few people could learn much about the Wii U, for example, from its pre-release name, Project Cafe. Sony first trademarked Soho engine in 2020 in Europe, and has now extended that trademark to Switzerland and New Zealand. Although this timing loosely coincides with the release of the PlayStation 5, the term never appeared in relation to any of Sony's marketing for the console. This means that the Soho engine could be key for an as-yet unannounced game, or it could have something to do with Sony's plans for upcoming PlayStation 5 peripherals. The most obvious hint is that Soho is a real-life neighborhood in New York City. As far as popular PlayStation exclusive games set in New York go, the Spider-Man series immediately comes to mind. It's possible that the heavily teased Spider-Man 2 will use a proprietary engine known as Soho Engine. The series is no stranger to serving as a tech demo for Sony. After all, Spider-Man Miles Morales let PS5 owners enjoy impressive 4K resolutions with 60 frames per second frame rate and with the advanced ray tracing feature. Another project in the works at Sony is its upcoming PSVR system for PS5. While Sony has revealed new controllers for the system, it hasn't revealed any games yet. Perhaps the Soho engine is designed to facilitate high-quality VR experiences, developed exclusively for the PS5. As it stands, Unity and Unreal Engine are the most popular engines for VR development. If Sony were to introduce an easy-to-use VR game engine that slowly became the industry's de facto standard, it could give Sony a large amount of exceptionally good VR content. Of course, Sony could actually be in the process of creating a game called Soho Engine. While this would be out of left field, there are a decent number of games and movies with the word engine in their titles, Mortal Engines being one of the most recent. If this actually is a game title, we will just have to wait and see what it is. Still, in the meantime, it's fun to speculate about what Sony has in the works. With the launch of the PlayStation 5, Sony hasn't been particularly experimental. The popularity of the PlayStation 4 allowed Sony to sustain its platform without needing to take many risks. Rather, it's able to invest in its strengths, like major PlayStation exclusives. However, an older trademark recently filed for renewal by Sony has some recalling a PlayStation 3 era feature and questioning whether it could return. The trademark that was renewed is for PlayStation Home. The PlayStation Home trademark was renewed with the European Union Intellectual Property Office. It was originally approved of and published in 2009, so it has been around for a very long time, and the renewal will sustain the trademark with the EU through a new expiration date of January 1, 2028. The trademark shows no evidence of having lapsed between 2009 and now, meaning Sony has maintained it through PlayStation Home's lifespan on PS3 and through the PS4 era even after PlayStation Home was shut down in 2015. There's no evidence at hand that Sony plans to resurrect PlayStation Home. Companies maintain trademarks for all manner of things that have had value, could still be useful, or even that the company is afraid will be misused by others. That doesn't mean Sony can't reuse the term, of course. It's certainly possible that Sony could decide to re-release or remake PlayStation Home, or even repurpose the trademark for some other service. PlayStation Home, for those who aren't familiar, was an online multiplayer experience that was free on the PlayStation 3. Players created a custom avatar and joined in PlayStation Home's instanced social area. These areas included various advertisements and minigames, as well as played host to assorted events. For the most part, however, PlayStation Home users joined to socialize with other people through chats and emotes. PS Home was a hub that allowed PlayStation Network users to explore themed virtual spaces. Users could create their own homes, play games with other users, and watch films and other content. social spaces like PlayStation Home seem like a constant consideration for console makers. Xbox has flirted with social functionality for its avatar system through previous generations, but never fully dedicated to it. Nintendo's Wii U Miiverse was a curious experiment, but it was also ultimately left behind. It wouldn't be a surprise for PlayStation or another platform to revisit the idea. For the time being, PlayStation Home returning is not a confirmed reality, and there's no real indication that will change in the near or far future. Still, Sony renewing a trademark for PlayStation Home at least keeps the possibility of its return open. Otherwise, it's an opportunity for nostalgic PlayStation Home users to recall the long-retired service. Meanwhile, fans of PlayStation Home are creating a spiritual successor entitled Dreams Central, to be accessible within the PlayStation-exclusive game Dreams. An extremely ambitious new project in the game creation software Dreams aims to provide a sweeping social space for owners of the game. Filled with exciting features and locations, it bears a remarkable resemblance to Sony's now-defunct PlayStation Home. While Dreams is closely associated with the PlayStation 4 era, PlayStation Home is one of the most iconic aspects of Sony's PlayStation 3 era. The service realm received an impressive renovation midway through its run. It ultimately shut down in 2015. Created entirely within Dreams, Dreams Central seeks to revive the social aspects of PlayStation Home once again. Set in a stunning island resort, Dreams Central offers a range of games for users to play together, such as bowling, pool, and air hockey. Users will be able to customize their own spaces and select a wide array of clothing options from boutiques. While PlayStation Home relied on microtransactions for much of its content, games made in Dreams are not able to offer paid content, and the team behind Dreams Central promises it will be truly free to play. Just like Dreams itself, Dreams Central will showcase community creations. Thanks to periodic design contests, exceptional designers will receive a spotlight within the virtual world. It's worth noting that the development team is currently seeking submissions for minigames, art, and more. For those who aren't artistically skilled, the project also invites any suggestions that people have regarding any aspect of the Dreams Central experience. As exciting as Dreams Central is, there is a bit of a catch. Of course, the game is built around an online multiplayer experience, but Dreams currently doesn't offer online multiplayer. Hopefully the game will implement online multiplayer before the anticipated launch of Dreams Central in 2022. To its credit, Dreams is continually adding features like audio importing, so there's good reason to trust that Dreams Central will have the multiplayer it needs in time for launch. In the year that has passed since its final retail version released, Dreams has played host to a number of incredible creations. This includes entirely original games along the lines of Dreams Central, as well as clever reconstructions of pre-existing games. Perhaps most impressively, a group of devoted Sonic the Hedgehog fans have succeeded in building a lightning-fast Sonic fan game within Dreams. It will be a delight if PlayStation Home was renewed by Sony itself, or the alternative Dreams Central evolves to be a PlayStation Home version 2.0. Moving forward, we have another PlayStation news, as Firefox plugin lets players access old PlayStation Store on the web. In October 2020, Sony updated the online PlayStation Store to prepare for the launch of the PlayStation 5, and in so doing removed a lot of features that fans liked while making it harder to download titles for consoles older than the PlayStation 4. However, it seems the update did not remove the old version of the store, and thanks to a plugin, anyone using Firefox browsers can access the previous PlayStation Store. Sony was recently under fire after it announced it would be closing down the PlayStation Store for PlayStation 3, PSP, and PlayStation Vita consoles, which meant gamers would lose access to classic titles. After the announcement, many criticized Sony for its lack of respect for preserving gaming history and the lack of notice it had given developers who were still making games for the consoles. This led to the company reversing its decision and stating that only the PSP store would be closed. With this concern about gaming history, many will be happy to learn that they can still access the old PlayStation Store, known as Valkyrie, using a simple plugin. The plugin, Valkyrie PS Store, is currently only available for Firefox browsers, but the same result can be achieved manually on other browsers. The store update in October was met with disapproval by PlayStation fans, so the news that the old store remains active but hidden should come as good news. It is worth mentioning that as this information spreads, Sony might take actions to remove access to the old storefront for good, so those that wish to use the old version should do so as soon as possible. The main benefit of the old store is that it still has the wishlist feature and organizes game purchases separately across all of Sony's consoles. While it may seem like a small complaint, the change in store design has bothered some PlayStation fans, and hopefully, the plug-in fixes that particular issue. These decisions by companies to close and change stores do affect the preservation of gaming history and highlight the downside of digital media. When console stores close, some games can be lost forever, unless they receive a port to a different console. For some games, ports are not an option as publishing deals may have expired or developers no longer exist. Luckily, we can do our best to preserve history even, and this simple Firefox plugin is a fine example of that. We have another PlayStation news to discuss, as Sony announces a special PlayStation China Press Conference 2021 broadcast event expected to confirm the PS5's release in the country. PlayStation has big plans coming to fruition soon, plans that could change the landscape of the video game market. That's because Sony is planning on bringing the PlayStation 5 to China, a country and region that's historically never been a major factor in the industry's eyes. Now, however, it's perhaps the biggest untapped gaming market in the world. As for what exactly PlayStation's plans are for the PS5 in China, a PlayStation China press conference has recently been scheduled to reveal just that. PlayStation China Press Conference 2021 will officially air on April 29 at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Sony announced on Friday. Given that it's targeted toward the Chinese market, the PlayStation China Press Conference will only be broadcast on Chinese platforms with Chinese commentary. While early details about the event are scarce, it's expected that the event will focus on information tied to the PlayStation 5's launch in China. The PS5's Chinese release was previously announced for Q2 2021. Sony officially acquired approval from China's Governing Technology Board to release the PS5 in the country in December 2020. Though putting together a console launch obviously takes a significant amount of time, Sony's also still struggling to meet PS5 demand throughout the rest of the world, which is why it may have taken so long. For comparison, Xbox also received approval to release the Xbox Series X and S in China this past December, but has yet to confirm an official launch as of yet. Also likely to be included in the PlayStation China Press Conference 2021 is a range of games coming to the PS5. Nothing has been officially announced, but Sony's China Hero Project shared the news on social media. The China Hero Project is an effort by Sony to support game development within China and already has a growing list of games coming to PlayStation platforms. The China Hero Project Twitter account asked followed which game they were hoping to see at the event. One specific game appears to be a major focus, Lost Soul aside from Ulti-Zero Games, a studio that Tencent recently bought a stake in. Little is known about the third-person action game other than that its creator, Yang Bing, was inspired by Final Fantasy, and that a short demo released back in 2016 was received positively. A key detail to keep in mind about the release of the PS5 in China is that it's near certain to be region-locked due to the country's strict regulations on gaming. That could mean that the PlayStation China Press Conference 2021 ultimately has little relevance outside of the country. Regardless, the success of the PS5 in China could change the company's priorities significantly, so it's an event many will be watching. We also have a new patent filed by Sony that looks at the possibility of incorporating players' phones for AR extensions of console game experiences. Sony has published a patent that looks at the potential of utilizing players' phones as secondary screens and controllers. The patent could lead to a unique new feature for Sony's future games and consoles if the company decides to pursue the ideas presented in the patent. This follows multiple other recent patents filed by Sony that introduce some incredible ideas for features like AI working to make games more accessible and allowing esports events to let watchers choose their perspective. This particular patent discusses systems that utilize the position of a mobile device to enhance a gamer's experience using augmented reality technology that could work either with a mobile device or smart glasses like the pair teased by Niantic. One possible function explored in the document is allowing the player to use their phone to control the camera and look at the environment around them in the game in different ways. An example given is allowing a player driving a Jeep in a game to move their phone around them to view the environment surrounding their character in the game. The concept seems like it could do a lot to help immerse players into games, and could allow them to view the beautiful world of the games they love in an entirely new way. The other large application the patent explores is using the position of a player's phone to simulate the avatar of an opponent in the real world. Using the phone of a player, as well as the phone of the opposing player, the patent could lead to Sony being able to use the positions of both of their phones to simulate the position, posture, and movements of both players. Then, either player could use their phone to see a simulation of their opponent standing in the same room as them. While this application does not have as clear of uses, it could be a big feature for any future PlayStation exclusive multiplayer titles. Augmented reality has enjoyed a growing presence in the games industry, with huge titles like Pokémon Go pioneering it on mobile devices. With the increasing popularity of AR experiences, as well as Sony's interest in expanding into the mobile market, this particular idea has a good chance at becoming a reality. While many patents are filed without ever leading to any real releases, this one could lead to some drastically different gameplay experiences in the future. If anything does come of it, we will likely have to wait at least a couple more years to hear any news, but it seems like it could be well worth the wait. With Sony partnering with new studios for creating exclusive multiplayer IPs for the PS5, now is the best time for them to enhance the experience and break the long-haunting no multiplayer impact on the PlayStation community. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a bigger audience. Comment your thoughts on the discussed topics, and if you want to contribute to the channel by means of donation, the link to my PayPal is in the video's description. You can send me donations which will help me to make more contents consistently and new things such as gameplay, podcasts and live streaming. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then from SMPV it's goodbye.